This is a BBC article called Nikki Haley bags Koch endorsement in bid to replace Donald Trump. Let's check it out. She's becoming popular now, I guess. It says a powerhouse donor base that has funded conservative causes for more than 2 decades says it is swinging behind Nikki Haley's 2024 presidential bid. Billionaire Charles Koch's network has raised millions in an effort to help Republicans move past Donald Trump. But as the party's voters prepare to begin picking their preferred candidate in January, the ex-president dominates the rest of the field. The Koch endorsement of Mrs. Haley has the potential to reshape the race. The former South Carolina governor is still polling roughly 50 points behind the man she once served as United States ambassador. But her headline-grabbing TV debate performances and a recent favorability bump in early voting states as a once-crowded Republican field begins to thin out have given hope to those who want an alternative to Mr. Trump. In recent weeks, several high-profile donors have indicated that they will back her over Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who is polling in second place but whose campaign appears to be faltering. In a memo on Tuesday, Americans for Prosperity Action, AFP Action, the Koch network's political advocacy arm, celebrated Mrs. Haley as a candidate capable of turning the page on Washington's toxic culture and a candidate who can win. It added that internal polling and voter outreach shows Mrs. Haley performing best in a hypothetical general election matchup with Joe Biden, the Democrats' current likely 2024 nominee. Where are they getting this information? How is she the better Republican? Trump is the one who's the most popular. This doesn't make any sense. In a statement from her campaign, Mrs. Haley said she was honored by the support of an organization that boasts millions of grassroots dude, they're rich. They don't need millions of grassroots members. AFP's Action members know that there is too much at stake in this election to sit on the sidelines, she wrote. We have a country to save, and I'm grateful to have AFP Action by our side. But the Trump campaign dismissed the endorsement, saying on Tuesday that no amount of shady money from the political arm of the China First, America Last movement would help Mrs. Haley win. Damn. He called the Koch brothers the shady money from the political arm of the China First movement. God damn. The Republican frontrunner himself lashed out on Wednesday, writing online, "These losers have fought me from 2016 to the present." So I guess there's like a rift now between the Kochs and Trump. It says right there, Trump calls Koch brothers a total joke. Critics have questioned whether the lone woman in the race has the campaign infrastructure to maintain her momentum as election season heats up. But it is a problem that Tuesday's endorsement, with the advertising, advocacy, and voter mobilization efforts that accompany it, could go a long way in helping to solve. It is also a big blow to DeSantis, who was most recently endorsed by AFP Action ahead of his 2022 re-election as governor. That sucks for this guy. So they dropping DeSantis for Haley. His campaign slammed the decision as evidence of the political establishment lining up behind a moderate who has no mathematical pathway of defeating the former president. Yeah, dude, I think DeSantis is right. How could Haley defeat Trump? The Koch network, which has raised more than $70 million in the 2024 election cycle, is already spending $4 million on ads criticizing the ex-president, according to Ad Impact. In its Tuesday memo, AFP Action apologized to DeSantis supporters, but warned that a divided primary field would only benefit Mr. Trump, and we are entering a time period that demands choices. They really don't like Trump. Like, Mitt Romney doesn't like Trump. The Kochs don't like Trump. It marks the first time that blah blah blah. It marks the first time the influential organization has put its thumb on the scale ahead of a Republican presidential primary. As many of you know, AFP Action has never engaged in a presidential election before. But to write a new chapter for our country, we need to turn the page on the past, AFP's memo reads. Donald Trump and Joe Biden will only further perpetuate the country's downward spiral in politics. The Koch network did not back Mr. Trump's successful bid for the White House in 2016. No shit. During the Trump years, it scored several major policy victories, including on tax reform, but opposing his stance on government spending and trade issues. Let's see. During the Trump, it scored major policy victories, the Kochs, including on tax reform, but they're opposed to Trump's stance on government spending and trade issues. Interesting. The ex-president and his potent brand of populism have in turn helped to diminish their influence money donors he refers to as global elites have over the Republican Party. That's a good thing. The BBC writes it like it's bad. Trump and his potent brand of populism have in turn helped to diminish the influence money donors, right, the global elites, power over the Republican Party. I think that's good. That's not a bad thing. Republicans will begin voting in the 2024 primary in January. Their eventual nominee currently looks likely to face Mr. Biden next November. Oh my God. All right, there you go. Kochs are against Trump. The fact that this is coming out in the news that a bunch of billionaires are against Trump, that this probably makes Trump even more popular amongst the American people now. So we'll see. I really don't think Haley will beat Trump at all.